What is up, Fallout fans? I'm going over the unique hunting rifle that is the very hard to pronounce because I'm a white boy, Pacienca?
Pacienca.
Pacienca? You know, where to get it, its stats, and just generally how good it is. And of course, is it worthy of that sweet dose of early game powa? Getting this weapon is as straightforward as it can get in terms of obtaining it. Being a gun runner's arsenal weapon, you just buy it from none other than the Dinky the Dinosaur Guardian that is Cliff Briscoe. Well, I guess Manny and Boone are the Guardians, but you get my point. If something unfortunate happened to Cliff and the Grim Reaper paid him a visit by your hands, after some time passes, you can easily obtain this weapon at the Securitron posted up at the Gunrunner's shack. Same as any GRA weapon. Being a broken record again, if you watch any of my other videos, you just have to get to Novak. It's very straightforward getting to Novak straight out of Doc Mitchell's home, going the typical loop route, so Good Springs to Nipton, Nipton to Wolfhorn, then Novak. Straight out of Doc Mitchell's womb, so to speak, you're highly unlikely to have the caps required in buying this. With a base price of 12k caps, 12,000 caps, not factoring in your potential barter skill. The easiest way to obtain this fortune is head straight for the strip with a high luck courier and gamble until you strike gold, proving that the house doesn't always win. But is this weapon any good? Let's look at the stats. It requires 50 guns, 6 strength, has a base damage of 55, so pretty good. 65.1 DPS. This is a bolt action, so the DPS is kind of weird. A 2x crit multiplier, an insanely high crit damage of 110, which really makes this a beast of a sniper, especially with any crit builds that most gun builds of course utilize. 1.2 attack speed, it costs 35 AP in VATS, weighs only 6.2, and is an extremely accurate weapon, which is also good for some little snipey actions, you know, with a weapon spread of 0.01, making it one of the most accurate weapons in the entire game. And it has a pretty good item HP health of 350. Hunting rifles being chambered in the versatile 308 ammo type boosts this Spanish name Mexican flag decorated hunting rifle that literally means patience into a highly efficient tool for any guns and sniper build. With all the stats out of the way, let's just jump straight into the pros and cons of this weapon. The pros and cons of this weapon are kind of like a duality of sorts in my opinion. Starting with the pros, is genuinely one of the best crit weapons in the entire game. 110 on a critical damage hit is devastating. And the fact that when you're sniping, you know, playing the long range game also takes into the effect of the guaranteed sneak criticals employed, only adds to this weapon's damage overall. 308s being an extremely versatile ammo type, you have armor piercing rounds on top of this, and the perk better criticals turns this into a tool of death. Pacienca also has a built-in modified scope that magnifies the ADSing, I believe ×4 versus, you know, the base game's default stock hunting rifle iron sights on the common, you know, variant. This gives the unique weapon a scope that is on par or rivals other scopes in the game. It's also pretty cool with the iron sights too, you know. It's a fun take on just regular old iron sights. Gun builds are also the most common and efficient build most people will play, especially if you're new to the game, due to the high volume of ammo and guns you can scrounge up while slogging through the wastes. They're the most practical build for a lot of players, you know. Pacienca is relatively easy taken into context of the bigger picture to repair, as hunting rifles aren't super common, but they aren't unicorns either. They're definitely around enough to make this pretty reasonable repairing, and of course you can always make weapon repair kits and get jury rigging at level 14, you know, everyone's favorite quality of life perk. And even though I rarely ever use the base or default hunting rifles in New Vegas, for reasons I'll go over in this video, picking this up and going around shooting shit for this video, I gotta say this is a very good weapon. And there's really not that many sniper like rifles in New Vegas. Like off the top of my head, there's really 3, you know, I mean unique ones. So this definitely is a contender if you're trying to do any kind of sniper build. The cons for this weapon are firstly the obvious, its high price tag, as going to gamble and bankrupting the casinos is pretty much the only way to grab this for any real early game power, excluding any exploits or glitches or simply console commands if you're on PC. Kind of going back to why I never use hunting rifles in New Vegas, I have to admit I hate them, the base hunting rifles at least. And the steep price tag on this weapon has always made this largely a weapon I don't ever really get. So I haven't grabbed it a lot. I don't have a lot of experience with this rifle at all before I made this video. There's just something about the sights with hunting rifles in New Vegas that always drive me freaking crazy, like bonkers. They're like skewed slightly to the, I think it's to the left, I believe, if I recall correctly. The sights are misaligned to the point of frustration in my experience. Like a shot you should hit miss a lot with the base hunting rifles. So you have to kind of aim slightly right of your target, which even then they just never feel good to use for me in sniping scenarios. They're extremely irritating and it's largely why I never use them, preferring a more reliable sniper friendly weapon. Hell, if I'm being honest, I prefer a pistol from the same far off ranges over the base hunting rifle. I literally land more shots with like Maria than I do with normal hunting rifles in this game from the same ranges. Or even that gun, you know, they're just more accurate for me, even sniping. But I did not have this issue with Pacienca. I didn't experience these misaligned sights that I'm oh so familiar with the base hunting rifles in New Vegas. I have used the base hunting rifles a lot in the past, as you can get one very early at the RepCon headquarters when doing the quest Come Fly With Me. And I ritualistically kill Harland for his 308 ammo rounds and his hunting rifle when doing that quest. So I'm familiar with just how inaccurate a hunting rifle can be in this game, to the point, like I already said, I never use them. But capturing footage for this video, I was picking off enemies left and right like a Skyrim stealth archer, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It did its job efficiently. And although I would prefer Christine Silencer sniper rifle and the Gobi scout rifle, this was a really solid weapon, honestly. And really, with all that said, is thy worthy of early game power? Not really. It's just too expensive. But if you can somehow get this ASAP at a relatively low level by raking in a fortune from gambling, you do find copious amounts of 308 rounds. Vendors keep 308 rounds heavily stocked pretty much all throughout the Mojave, and this really is a beast of a sniper rifle. Your options are limited with pure sniper rifles in this game, but I definitely say this is a worthy top contender for sure. It goes burr on some fools for real. With all that said though, New Vegas fans, like, comment, subscribe, and I really hope to see you in the next one.